Thank you, Sean. First and foremost, this is my second year here and my second giving of the LoBalbo Award. I'm humbled to be here, but I'm extremely happy to see Ruth LoBalbo. Would you please stand up, Ruth? When I met Ruth last year, I asked her about Coach LoBalbo and when he was an assistant at Army. And when you talk to a person and she refers to Bobby Knight as Bobby, you gain instant credibility. George Blaney is a New Jersey guy. George Blaney went to St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City, New Jersey, where I went to school. George Blaney played for the same coach that I played for. George Blaney played for the same coach that Bob Hurley played for. George Blaney is a man that, even if you don't know basketball, you know the word respect, and his face appears. George Blaney would be in Naismith if Holy Cross accepted the invitation to go to the Big East. Holy Cross decided not to, and we went to the Patriot League, and I was fortunate enough to be the assistant basketball coach the first year in the Patriot League. And tonight, I always wear my wedding ring. My wife's not here, so Bunny, I don't have my wedding ring on tonight, and I haven't worn this thing in a long time, but it's the championship ring when I was an assistant coach at Holy Cross and won the Patriot League in its inception, its first year. Not only does Coach Blaney give me everything that I've ever had professionally, he was the father that I didn't have. My father passed away when I was 17 years old, and I became a man that needed help and needed guidance, and Coach Blaney gave me an opportunity to be the Division I basketball coach. In the 5 years that we were together, we won 99 games. We went to the NCAA tournament. We went to the NIT twice. We graduated every player. But most importantly, Coach Blaney made every player there and every coach a better man. A number of people couldn't be here tonight because Coach Blaney wouldn't let them come. He said, Greg, I do not want anyone to come because I don't want to bother anybody. George Blaney does not interfere with people's lives. He makes people's lives better. I've got 3 letters I'm going to read, and then Coach Blaney will receive the LoBalbo Award. I'll try to get through them. Dear Coach, on behalf of your Holy Cross class of 1993, congratulations on being the 2014 recipient of the LoBalbo Award. Although I had never had the privilege or pleasure to meet Coach LoBalbo, I do know that he was an incredible teacher of the game, and whether he was working as an assistant high school coach in Newark, assistant at Army or St. John's, or the head coach at FDU, he demanded his players and fellow coaches respect the fundamentals of the game as much as he did. The names who's learned from him are the likes of who are some of the great coaches: Lou Carnesecca, Bobby Knight, Coach K, Rolly Massimino, Bill Raftery, and Don DeVoe, just to name a few. I'll shorten the letter by saying at the end, so Coach, thank you. Thank you for taking a chance on us and for the many lessons taught along the way. Thank you for being a true role model and doing everything with class and respect for those you were dealing with, even the referees, which I kind of doubt. I was there, baby. I am sorry we couldn't be there tonight, but we'll always be honored and proud to say I was coached by the great George Blaney. Congratulations, Coach, from all of your players from Holy Cross, Roger Breslin, class of 1993. Two more to go, and they're shorter. Coach, sorry I couldn't be there tonight. LoBalbo, as was with many coaches in our state, was a mentor to me as a young coach trying to find my way in our great sport. I can think of no more deserving honoree than George Blaney. As a young man growing up in Jersey City from St. Paul's Parish, George Blaney was the epitome of what we all wanted to be: a great athlete, and a better person. As he continued his professional career as the head coach at Holy Cross College, he maintained his Jersey roots, taking scholastic players and turning them into college stars. When he became the coach at Seton Hall University, as a parent, I was fortunate enough to have him mentor my son, Danny, who is now the head coach of the University of Rhode Island, for his last 2 years of college. The positive effect he had on him was amazing and outstanding, and myself and Bunny could attest to that. Danny grew up because of Coach Blaney. As he continued his career at UConn, I'm sure that Jim Calhoun would say how much George was responsible for the success they received. Jersey City and Fairleigh Dickinson is proud of you, and I am honored to call you my friend. That letter was written by Bob Hurley from St. Anthony's High School. Last one, George, and this is a classic one. George, you are the best basketball man I ever met. You were a great college player, an NBA player, a coach, and a leader. You have made a tremendous impact on our game, and you have made a tremendous impact on me. Congratulations on winning the LoBalbo Award. Congratulations, George. Jim Calhoun. The reason why I was the happiest, and I'll end, Sean, and I don't listen to Sean, so I don't know what everybody else is talking about. Sean helped me get the job, and that was enough for Sean. The greatest thing was that when George was going to get the award, I knew I'd get him down here to come to a practice. So this morning at 7:30, we went across the bridge and went to the fitness center because our facility, the Rothman Center, is being used, and I've got pages and pages of notes about how our team can become better. And then I had the team listen to Coach Blaney speak to, Coach Blaney spoke to my team, and they found out what kind of man he is. You will tonight. Tonight's recipient of the LoBalbo Award, Mr. George Blaney. Do I take it off here, Sean? Just it's plugged in. Everybody see how when it's lit? Congratulations, Coach. Thanks. Let's hear it for George Blaney.
If I knew Greg was going to speak so well of me, I would have done the appropriate thing and died. So I always check with my wife, Mary Ellen, who just recently had some surgery, but I always check her and ask her what I should talk about when I come to affairs like this, and she tells me the same thing every single time. She's been telling me that for 50 years. Don't try to be charming, she said. Don't try to be witty, and certainly don't try to be intellectual. Just be yourself. John Levitt, you are incoherent, by the way. But very good job. And Roy Danforth, great to see Roy. Haven't seen him in a number of years. He was an amazing coach, really amazing coach, way ahead of his time. Did a lot of great things that really started all kinds of other things that other coaches were able to do. I'm taken aback by the award. Mostly because Ruth is here tonight. I never really met Ruth before, but I know of her, and I know of what a FDU fan she is. And it's great to see her support and to continue to be here. I did know Al, and I was fortunate enough to actually play against his high school team when he was at St. Mary's in Elizabeth, when he had Bechtel and Halleck. A lot of you wouldn't know those names, but those were two great players that he had in a fantastic high school team. So I played again. And then And then when he went to St. John's and Army, we all the young coaches, we all learned from him about how to be a coach. It was amazing in those days. The best way you learned how to be a coach was you went to clinics. They had clinics throughout the area, and Al was at every clinic ever designed because he was such a good speaker and he was in such demand. There would be 600 or 800 coaches at these clinics, and he would go on and on, particularly about defense. And that's how all the Ball U man started. That's how Bobby Knight started with the defense. That's how Louis started with the defense. That's how Mike started with the defense. We all learned how to teach that. But he was the architect of that. And it was truly amazing that he could teach as much as he did. So I'm honored to get this award. Billy Raftery got it, Lou got it, Hubie got it. These are really special people in my life. And, you know, Billy Raftery, he always makes so much fun of himself. But you could make a very strong argument that Billy Raftery is one of the 10 best high school players ever out of New Jersey. That's how good a player he was. He went to LaSalle, hurt his back, still broke all of Tom Gola's records, and was just a phenomenal player all the time. The second reason I'm happy that I'm here is for Greg. I'm really happy that he's your coach. He's a remarkable individual. I tell this story all the time. I worked with Coach Calhoun for 12 years. He's kind of a unique individual, if that would be a good way to put it. But most people think of Jim, and the story always is that he wakes up every morning and he wants to have a fight. And if he doesn't have a fight, he will create one. And Greg is a little bit like that, except Greg wakes up every morning and creates enthusiasm for all the people that he meets. That's a wonderful characteristic. And he does it with teams. His teams have enthusiasm and energy. And I love that part about him. And I love that part about having him coach like that. I think that's such a great thing for him to do. I spent my entire life in basketball trying to teach the passion that I had for the game. And hopefully I was able to do that. You can find so many lessons in the game that are life lessons. And I tried to do that pretty much with succinct and direct word pictures. And I was always looking for word pictures. I was always looking for sayings. And they could come from any place. They could come from Aristotle. They could come from Yogi Berra. But they had great meanings, I think. So we had sayings all the time about little sayings but big meanings. And I wrote a bunch of them down just for laughs, but some of them are pretty good. Hope is not a plan. Are you willing to pay the price? The price is very expensive. That was one I used to use all the time. This is one for the younger ones that have children. This is one that you can use with your children all the time. If you're explaining, you're wrong. See, I told you, I knew you'd like that one. At Connecticut, we had a lot of great players. I mean, every day we'd go in and we had 3 or 4 All-Americans and pro scouts at practice all the time. But we had a player by the name of Charlie Villanueva, who's in the pros now, 6'11", multi-talented player. And he came to us and he liked to watch a lot. He liked to stand and watch. And every time I would see him, I would pull out 2 tickets. And I would say, Charlie, if you want to watch, buy a ticket. And so he still, every time I see him all the time, he says, "I still have that ticket, Coach. I still have that ticket." Everyone learns at their own pace. And this is one that is really important, that not every player in particular learns quickly. Some of them it takes 3 or 4 years. Shabazz Napier, who just played on the championship team this year, played on the championship team as a freshman. Was impossible to coach, absolutely impossible. The players disliked him, the coaching staff disliked him, his teachers didn't like him, the trainers didn't like him, and he was an exceptionally smart kid. But it took him a while. It took him almost till junior year to finally get it, and he got it. And once he got it, he was able to lead a very mediocre team last year to a national championship. And so again, everybody learns at their own pace. Extremely important. This one I always like too. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. The ball finds energy. The ball finds energy. Always a good one. Ordinary is not our goal. Are you the best player on the floor today? I asked one of Greg's players today, are you the best player on the floor today? Were you the best player on the floor? And I knew he wasn't. He was awful for 3/4 of the practice. And then at the last quarter of the practice, he was pretty close to the best player. So I was trying to get him to think of why he wasn't the best player for the whole time. And I don't know if I got an answer to that question. Nothing is guaranteed. It doesn't take any ability to hustle. If you want to dance, you have to pay the fiddler. That's an old Irish one. What is the game asking of you today? And we used to go to practice all the time, and I'd ask the player, what's the game asking you today? What does it want you to do? And then I won't bore you with any more, but two of my favorites. No job is too big, but equally as important, no job is too small. And it really was the crux of our teaching, to make people understand that you have to do the little jobs to make everybody does the big jobs, but it's the little jobs that really make a team. And then the final one, the one that I think you'll all like, don't disappoint your mother. That always gets them. That always gets them. Lastly, I'd just like to tell you, basketball is the best game ever invented. It doesn't care what the color of your skin is. It doesn't care what language you speak. It doesn't care where you're from. It doesn't care whether you're tall or short or skinny or fat. It doesn't care whether you're right-handed or left-handed. All it cares about is how you play that day, whether you played good enough that day. And that's what I loved about it. So every day we were trying to get players to play their best. And in doing so, to make a team better, to make a group come together, to make people from different backgrounds, from different ethnic backgrounds, from different colors, from different languages, come together and be a team. It seems to me it's not much different than life. Either join it or fight it. Thank you very much.